stay tuned because for the next 60 minutes, Motorsports Unlimited is on the air. Hi, I'm Jerry Bryant, and these are the lovely ladies of motorsports. And all this hour, we're going to have 60 minutes of action-packed excitement. All kinds of exciting things will happen. And we got the famous Bill Wildt, and we got all kinds of other good stuff that's happening all this hour. Motorsports Unlimited. 60 minutes of non-stop action. So let's go to the studio right now.
Thanks, Jerry, and hi, everybody. Welcome to the studio headquarters of Chicagoland's most watched, most talked about Access television series. I'm Janine Lauschat, and this is the 1119th edition of Motorsports Unlimited. Today we're taking you to Cicero, Illinois to tell you about a motoring adventure just about to get underway. If you'll recall, several years ago we took you to the Velorex shop in Frankfort, Illinois, as we have many times before. You remember the Velorex shop, it's Larry Claypool's place, and typically once a year, Larry gathers up weird cars for us to look at. Over the years, there have been Vespas, Lloyds, Izettas, Trabants, Tatras, well, you get the idea, strange cars few have heard of. Among the strangest was the Velorex. It's a Czechoslovakian car with a motorcycle engine and canvas body. Bill got to drive it, and it stuck in his mind as being great fun and very cool. You can imagine his surprise when he heard a group was coming from Czechoslovakia with their Velorexes to travel Route 66. They were assembling in front of the Klaus restaurant in Cicero, Illinois, in anticipation of their departure. Unfortunately, we were busy shooting the Berwyn Route 66 car show that day, but when we finished, we hurried over to Cicero to see if we could catch part of the story. Let's join Bill as he chats with the man who tipped us off about this story.
Folks, I cannot tell you how cool the thing I'm going to tell you about is. I don't even know how to introduce it. I've been doing Motorsports Unlimited now for 22 years, and several years ago, we looked at a car called a Velorex, which I thought translated, the way it was translated for me, was Speed King. In all the years we've been doing this program, I've got to tell you, the Velorex is one of the coolest cars that we ever looked at. I got to drive it and everything. It's very cool. If you'll remember, it had a canvas body and a two-stroke motorcycle engine, and it was made in Czechoslovakia. Very, very cool car. I just loved everything about it. Well, guess what? This is going to sound more and more amazing as we go along. What these guys are going to do is they're going to do Route 66 in Velorexes. Is that the plural, Velorexes?
I think so. Yeah, I guess maybe Velorex I or Velorexes. Who knows?
Anyhow. And they're starting here in Chicago, and they're going to take Route 66 all the way out to California. I'm not, as much as I love these cars, I'm not really sure that you could really get a dozen blocks, and they're going to go a dozen states. So we're going to see. First of all, you are.
My name is Glenn Bukak.
And what is your involvement with this effort?
Well, I'm helping the Czech Republic expedition on Route 66. I live here in Villa Park, Illinois, and I'm assisting this team. They're my friends from the Czech Republic to assist in logistical needs, insurance, and things like that, and stuff that they'll need to know when they come here. And I've also helped put on a little kickoff party here for them and some accommodations here for them.
Well, I should say we just finished up, and this didn't match up well at all because we had the Berwyn Route 66 car show today, and we were shooting two shows there. I'm absolutely wiped out. So is the crew. When I got the email from these guys that what they were going to do, I said, boy, if there's any way possible, I want to shoot over there. Right now we're in Cicero, right?
Yes, we are. Cicero in front of Klaus restaurant.
Klaus, which is an old what, German or
old Czech restaurant, and believe it
sure.
or not, Al Capone used to play cards here.
Is that? Well, that's about as cool as it gets. Would they know who Al Capone is?
Oh, definitely.
They know. They're nodding their heads. You're going to meet them in a minute. We've got people here from Czechoslovakia with Czechoslovakian cars. This couldn't be more fun. This is just great, and hopefully everybody's welcomed them and made them feel real special and all the way, because clearly this is a special effort. Now, I want you to meet the fellow that I first. Now, is there anything else you want to tell me about this effort before I talk to the person that we originally were introduced with the Velorex?
Well, this undertaking has been in the planning phases of over a year, I guess, and I've been in contact with them for several months planning this. So it's been a long planning process.
Okay, this is
And another thing, it nearly didn't happen
I bet
up
it nearly,
to 3 weeks
I
ago.
bet it nearly didn't happen a dozen
happen.
times.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not easy to pull this off. And by the way, let me say one of the things. This is not unusual. There are lots of people that come from all over the world to do Route 66. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
Yes, definitely. Paul McCartney was there just
Well,
recently,
Paul
the last
McCartney
few
just
weeks
did it,
ago.
yes.
Yes.
So this is a very big deal, and I think it's fun. I hope people enjoy what they're doing, and I hope they enjoy America and all the rest of it. Now, I want you to meet the fellow that originally introduced us to the Velorex. We're going to be right back.
Now, this would be the man who brought his Velorex to Larry Claypool's Fair Shop years ago when Bill first saw and drove one. You've met him before, but it's been a while, so let's do it again.
You know, I'm not really sure we can do this without our good friend Larry Claypool. He really should have been here for this. He's not here. I don't know why. I'm going to scold him when I talk to him. Larry Claypool, if you remember, is the person we depend on for all kinds of weird cars. He owns the Fair Shop down in Frankfurt, I believe it is. And I depend on him for all the weird car stuff. And this is as weird a car as we have ever looked at. And this is the fellow that owned the first one that I saw. And if you'll remember the show, he actually built it, restored it, what have you. When he got all done, surprised his dad with it, opened up the garage door and showed his dad, who remembered that he had a picture of you and your dad from what, the 20s or 30s?
No, it was 60s.
60s, whatever. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it was a great shot. Tell the folks who you are.
I'm Robert Poprowski,
From?
Prospect Heights.
Okay, I want you, now do you have your car here today?
Yes, it's just behind us.
Okay, tell us about it. Give me a thumbnail sketch of what it is.
It's a 68. What makes it a little bit different than the others, it's very original. It has only 8,000 kilometers, which is not a whole lot. It has an original skin covering on it, original engine, so it's as original as they come.
And these things come with a two-stroke, two-cylinder motorcycle engine?
Yes, 350 cc, about 15 horsepower.
And they have a canvas body.
Yes, canvas body over tubular space frame chassis.
Okay, and you're interested in these? Is you guys are originally from Czechoslovakia?
No, I'm from Poland, but these were actually sold in large numbers in Hungary and Poland. My dad happened to own one. That's the first car I ever remember, and I guess that's how I got hooked up on cars.
I'll tell you something, it couldn't be cooler. This is the kind of car, this is the kind of adventure, by the way, what these guys are planning, to do these cars all the way out to California. Can you even imagine trying? Are you going with them? No.
I wish I could. Of course, it's doable. It's a lot of fun, and they'll be seeing United States for the first time, so I think that'll be very interesting for them to go slow and kind of look around.
It's the best. It's the best. You know, I've talked about this so many times on our program. It's like our motorcycle road trips, folks. The idea isn't getting there, it's the journey.
Absolutely. And I think they also traveled extensively in Europe, so they're used to long-distance traveling.
Well, this is going to be cool. I hope we're going to meet some of these folks. Some of them do speak English, so we're going to do a little talking. Now, is there anything else you want to tell us about your Velorex before we meet some of the folks from Czechoslovakia?
Just look for them, because we are driving them, and we go to local car shows. So if you're interested in seeing it, look them up. We also started the website. Can I mention the name?
Please do, yes.
It's www.velorexus.com.
You better spell Velorex, because I can't even do it, and I've had one on the show.
It's V as in victory, ELOREX.com.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, there's a US at the end.
You better give me the whole thing slowly. www.what?
VELOREXUS.com.
Okay, and this is going to have all the follow-up, this trip and everything?
It's a very basic site right now, but we will be putting a lot of information and, of course, the contact information if you want to see these cars in person.
Okay, once again, I want to thank you for introducing that car. It was a great car, a great experience. I haven't forgotten it. And now let's meet some of the folks from Czechoslovakia.
Some of the people from Czechoslovakia were a little concerned about being interviewed because they didn't speak English. Bill had a plan.
All right, folks, I've really got my work cut out for me now, because we've got a lot of Czechoslovakian-speaking people, and I said, let me have the person that speaks the English the best, and that's the girl, and then we're going to meet all these guys, including those that don't speak at all. So I'm going to try. First of all, you are?
Věra.
Vera what?
Věra Synovcová.
And you are?
Josef Synovec.
Okay, and you don't speak English much?
Yeah, I don't speak English much.
But your wife does?
What?
Well,
Your wife is...
yeah, because I studied in the United States in Oklahoma, so for 1 year.
Okay, I understand one of the Velarexes is yours.
Yeah, the red one.
Or is it yours and your husband together?
Yeah, of course.
Together?
Yes.
So you ride together in this?
Yeah, we do.
Tell me about the car.
Well, it's...
What year?
Actually, this one is from the 1970, but they bought it about like 1 year ago, and each car was totally renovated for this trip for the Route 66.
Okay, interesting thing about this is what you said, that this was done in 1970. Now, a lot of our viewers probably think these cars are from 1920 or 1930 or something like that. No, even up to the 70s they made these things.
Yeah, I believe till 73. Yeah. 71
Till 1971. And they seem so old.
They started after to produce them, to manufacture them after the war, the Second World War.
Just after, and what they had to do was take advantage of whatever they had, right?
Well, of course, and actually these cars were manufactured for handicapped people, so they could move easily around the world.
Okay, now, do you guys really think you can make it all the way to California in these cars?
Of course we do.
It's a long way.
We have the airplane ticket from
Just
LA, so we have to make it.
You have to make.
Yeah.
I mean, what an adventure this is. What made you guys think this up?
Well, we have done other expeditions in Europe to the Alps and to the Nordkapp in Norway, and we also went, or not us, but other people who own this Velorex car went to Tunisia in Africa. So there were several expeditions already before, and we decided now to take the expedition, the trip on the Mother Road, on Road 66.
Well, I will tell you something that you might not know about America that never ceases to amaze me. I'm a motorcyclist. I've ridden my entire life, and I was reminded on a recent motorcycle trip that in America, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but in America, you're never alone on a motorcycle. You stop for 10 minutes and somebody comes along with a bike and they stop to see, because I stop and videotape all the time, so people always think I have trouble, and it's a wonderful kind of a brotherhood feeling, and I will bet that the motorcyclists would see these more as motorcycles than cars, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, and it's the same in Europe, in
Same
Czech
thing?
Republic.
Okay.
You know, people are waving at you and
good.
greeting and asking you about the car and all that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, listen, is there anything you want to tell me about this trip, or tell our audience about this trip that I haven't thought to ask?
Well, we are excited the trip. As I said,
Leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we are leaving tomorrow morning, and we should be in LA the latest by 29th of September, because we are leaving on 30th of September. So we have exactly more or less 3 weeks.
3 weeks to do it.
3 weeks to do it, and we have already received by email several invitations from other like Czech people living in the United States to come and visit them. And
that's nice. That is nice. Yeah, so you're not really alone.
No, we are not alone, and we are looking forward to not only to meet people, but also to see the country here and to do something.
I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you remember what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Route 66 is important, and it gets all the attention, but believe me, we have many, many roads that are prettier, go through prettier country. The problem with Route 66, I don't want to, it's wonderful, I'm glad it gets so much attention, but the problem is, remember, what they were trying to do was make like an interstate highway. Yeah. So a lot of it is very straight and kind of boring and all that, whereas a lot of the other roads are, kind of winding and all of like this and everything. But I want you to enjoy Route 66, but I don't want you to think that that's all there is to America. You come on back. There's lots to see here,
We will certainly do.
Okay, and I should say, to clarify this, because I just learned this myself, I should say that there are 4 Velorexes that are actually going to go.
Yeah, there are 4 Velorexes, and we are the only couple. This is my husband, and there are other 3 men coming with us.
Boy, this is going to be so cool. Anyhow, I want you to meet the other guys too, this is the Englishing, the one that speaks English the best, and you're going to be like translator for everybody else, yes?
And no problem.
Okay, so I want you to meet the rest of these folks from Czechoslovakia. This is so cool, I can't tell you.
That went all right, but she spoke English well. Let's see how Bill does without a translator.
Well, I'm going to try this, folks. Now, this fellow speaks English a little bit. Your name?
My name is Tomáš Hanuš.
Okay, and where are you from? Town?
I'm from Prague.
What country is that in?
Prague is the capital of Czech Republic.
Capital of Czech Republic. Yeah. Okay. Why are you going on Route 66 in America?
Why?
Yes.
Because it's famous mother of the road. We hear about it.
Really? You hear about this in Czechoslovakia? That's amazing.
Sure.
I'm surprised.
So we would like to try to go through with our old timers, let's say.
What do you expect from Route 66? What is in your head?
Well, the first is the feeling to drive through. and also the nature, which is I guess beautiful, mainly in the second part.
Okay.
So
Did you study any of the books?
yeah, sure. We made some preparation with some guides.
Okay. Do you know the town Odell?
Well, unfortunately,
Okay. Well,
this
no, it's
one I don't
okay.
know.
When you leave here on 66 going southwest, maybe you're going to go through Joliet.
Yeah.
Right after Joliet, very small town, Odell,
Okay.
has beautiful antique gas station. From she's not, you know what I'm talking about. I see our translator's nodding her head, so maybe they're going to show you. It's very pretty. I went on motorcycle ride through all this. It's very, very nice. Anyhow, tell me about your car. What year?
This one is year 1964.
1964. Are you a mechanic?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, you rebuild,
Yes.
but not you.
No. I rebuilt it myself, but I am not auto mechanic.
But you rebuild it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of mechanic.
Well,
Little
but
bit.
like such a hobby.
Okay, like hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, good luck. Have fun. This is the most important part. Have fun. Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. And this, I'm going to, now he speaks English the best. I'm going to work my way down here, so it's going to get harder and harder. So stand by. We're going to meet the next fella.
I bet the interviews get shorter and shorter. Let's see.
This poor guy is scared to death because he doesn't speak any English at all, but that's okay. Watch how I do this. Name.
My name is Thomas Klenner.
Where are you from?
I'm from Prague.
Prague. I heard of this. The Prague I hear of. This is in
Prague is Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Okay. Why Route 66?
Why? It's a famous mother road
And you
of
hear
America.
about this all the way in Prague.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. To me. Now, tell me your car. What year?
1979.
Okay, all kind of new cars. I'm thinking maybe somebody has 1930, no?
No, 1930.
Everything new.
New.
New. Okay, I see on the side, wait just a minute, it says BEL, Bell. What is this?
BEL is my company.
Okay,
It's
what-
my sponsor company.
What kind of company is this?
My company is repair big diesel engines.
This has big diesel engine?
Yeah, I mechanic diesel engines.
Oh, okay, so you're a mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to keep everybody going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I won't put them through any more of this. I just wanted you to meet these guys. First of all, welcome. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Have a good time on Route 66,
Yeah.
okay? What are you going to do if you see Indians?
Indians?
Yeah. You know Indians?
Oh.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah,
In-
I see Indians.
yeah, well, maybe you find Indians on Route 66.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you'll see. Anyhow, I hope these guys have fun out there. I'm having a little bit of fun with them right now, and I hope they have fun all the way out to California. Bill was having a little fun, but he was remembering when Luda, our Russian girl, went to Phoenix with him for Bridgestone Firestone's tire testing. She was absolutely thrilled when they encountered American Indians, or Native Americans if you prefer. You would have to remember many Europeans know us only through movies, and Westerns are very popular in Europe. We can only guess what their expectations might be. Now let's meet the man who speaks the least English. All right, this is the last one of the people that's, last one I think. Well, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, four. This is the last one. This is number 4, and he speaks the least English, so he's the most afraid. It's okay, we're gonna have fun. Your name?
Thomas.
Same as other guy. How about last name?
Thomas Jaroń.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Prague.
Also from Prague?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you do for a living? What's your job?
My job? I renovated these Velorex cars.
Okay, in other words, the other fellow was a diesel mechanic,
Yes.
big diesel mechanic, and are you a mechanic?
Yes.
Okay, so you have people with you then that can fix the cars as you go?
Yes.
Okay, because you're going to need this.
Yes.
Okay, you know this, yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay, curious. First of all, your car, what year?
My car is year 1969.
Okay, all pretty new cars. I'm surprised nobody 1951, 52, all newer.
Yes.
No one with older one.
No.
Okay, why do you want to do Route 66?
It's very nice and famous road, mother of road in America. We want to visit this country, eight countries. We want to go to Los Angeles.
But very cool. You know, it's interesting to me. Many Americans don't know Route 66.
No?
No, it's interesting. People from foreign country know this road. Route 66 is, do you know the word decommissioned? You know what this means? In other words, government has official names for roads, okay? Route 66, name was taken away 20 years ago.
20?
Maybe more.
Many
more.
It's more.
Okay, the only signs you see, Route 66, these are like decoration. You know, they're not, you know all this?
A little bit.
Okay, so many Americans don't even know Route 66, and I think many Europeans come with motorcycles and with cars. And they want to do Route 66. I think it's wonderful. I think
we will first with these cars.
Yeah, you were first with Velorex for sure.
Yes, this is really first.
Okay, do you know on this website that you have, you're going to have pictures from the trip and everything?
Yes. Websites are Velorex R66.team.cz.
Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen so people can look and see how you. Because I'm really wondering how they're going to make out. I hope everybody gets out there, but they got what, 2 mechanics?
We are mechanics.
Everybody's mechanic. Okay, she's waving her head. Everybody's a mechanic.
Yes, everybody are mechanics.
Okay, well listen, best of luck. I hope most important thing. I hope you have fun.
Yes.
Most important thing, have fun. Yes.
I think so.
Okay. Once again, it's not so hard, right? Easy. This was easy. Okay. Tomorrow, believe it or not, in these cars, they're on the way to California.
It really is quite an undertaking, and Bill was pleased that he was able to talk with these guys without the help of a translator. But now it's time to wrap things up.
All right, this once again as our translator. I didn't need you at all. Those guys did just fine.
Yeah, they did great.
They did great. Now, I hope I didn't scare the one guy with the Indian thing, did I?
No, at all.
Okay, well, you will see Indians out there.
Yeah, we believe so.
But it's not like in the Western movies, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In fact, it really is worth taking the time to look into that culture and all that. It's really quite interesting. I've spent a little time out in Arizona and all that. Really is quite interesting, and there are really quite a few Indians out there. Yeah. Now, we've got another player you haven't met before, and you are?
I'm Frank Sabalis from Klaus Restaurant.
That's right, and as a matter of fact, I understand you're one of the people that made this trip possible.
Yeah, anything to promote our culture, our heritage here in Cicero.
So you're Czechoslovakian too, then?
Czechoslovakian descent, American. Yeah, some Czechs came over and settled here, and I'm the result, one of the results here.
So you must be pretty enthusiastic about this whole run that they're making.
Yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about the cars. They're very interesting. I've got some old vehicles myself, so this kind of all is tied in.
It is such a cool adventure. Do you know the word cool over there or no?
Yeah,
okay, you understand I'm saying a good thing, yes?
Yeah.
It is such a cool adventure. I envy them. I wish I were leaving with them tomorrow. It would be so much fun. Now, as I understand it, you've got how many Velorexes that are going to escort you out of the city?
Well, what I have heard that there should be probably 3 or 4 Velorexes and maybe some motorcycles as well.
That are going to escort you how far? You don't know?
We haven't talked it yet, but I believe some maybe 30 miles maybe from
Joliet or so.
To about Joliet or something like that?
Joliet, Odell, something like that.
Okay, you know about Odell, about this gas station I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you stop and see that. And there's so many things. I hope you guys take the time and go slowly and really enjoy it. Now, the thing I wanted to follow up with you on is I understand you have a laptop computer with you?
Yes, we do. We have a laptop, and what we want to do is update our web pages every evening once we arrive to the motel. We want to put a diary, like we have a diary there.
Right, sure.
So we want to put
what maybe we some have. Pictures.
Pictures. We have a photo gallery on that webpage, so there will be pictures from our journey every day put on that webpage, and also the diary from every day.
Well, listen, I wish you guys the best of luck. This is about, this is what the pleasure of life is, an adventure like this. This truly is. This is the pleasure of life.
Bringing people together.
And
hitting the road.
Hitting the open road. And doing it in something like this.
Yeah.
I think that's very...
And taking your time.
And taking your time doing it. Now, do any of these cars here actually run right now?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, not right now. I mean, if you want to hear the engine, they can run.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I've got two women with me here. They're just dying to somebody to take them for a ride in them. You think that's possible?
That's certainly possible.
If you can get it done, I'm going to tape it. And I want to see a terrified look on their face, okay?
No problem.
Okay, well, once again, we're going to have, hopefully you've already seen the website. So if you don't see this until later, it's okay because all the information will stay up there for a while and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Talk about a cool adventure. You along with me, I hope, wish these folks luck and have a good time. That's the most important thing. Have a good time.
You.
Thanks.
Yeah, all right.
I was a little apprehensive about riding in a Velorex. They don't look very substantial, but May jumped at the chance.
After Janine saw me, she jumped in a Velorex too.
They sure back up fast, and it was fun. Now that was the end of our day. The next morning they left on their 3-week adventure across America on historic Route 66. Bill tried to follow the adventure on the website, but it was in Czechoslovakian, so it was difficult. After we finished editing and airing all the summer car shows we'd taped, Bill called Glenn Buchek to see if he could meet with him at Klaus Restaurant to do a follow-up. He graciously agreed, and here they are, some 6 weeks later.
Boy, what a difference 6 weeks make. It is freezing out. Right now is what, October 21st?
22nd.
October 22nd, and it's about 45 degrees, and the wind is blowing, and it is brutal. And I wanted to start this so we could remind the audience of where this program all started. And before we go any farther, please tell the folks once again who you are.
My name is Glenn Buchek.
And Glenn, you're the man that alerted me to this whole thing with these Velarexes going on Route 66.
Yes, I did. It was 4 Velarexes, 5 people coming from the Czech Republic to drive on Route 66 from Chicago to California.
Very cool. And you know, this has been now, like I say, it's about what you just saw. We shot 6 weeks ago. And obviously, the one thing I wanted to do before I put this on the air is I wanted to have a conclusion. So that's why we're over here today. And I expected to shoot the conclusion right here in front of the place where we started. And the reason being is because I sent when I got home and I took a couple of still pictures, I said, this for all the world could be Europe. No, this restaurant, I've never heard of this place before. It could be Europe, but it's not. We're in Cicero.
That's right, a little taste of Europe here in Cicero.
It's absolutely amazing, very, very rustic. And you told me that this is the oldest Czech restaurant in America?
Correct, that's still open, and Al Capone actually used to hang out here.
That's so cool. The whole thing is just filled with history, and it's amazing how Americans really don't know all this stuff, including me, by the way. Now, I wanted to shoot this whole thing out in front. We're going to shoot a little bit out in front, but I'm freezing, guys. We're gonna go inside. I can't believe it. We were toasting 6 weeks ago when we shot.
It was wonderful outside when we were here for the first time.
Right. You know, the one thing we didn't follow up on, you don't know this, but I've looked at the footage we shot, and I opened it by saying Velorex. When we first, please help me with the fellow's name that first introduced me to the Velorex.
Robert Poprowski.
Yeah, I can never say, even if I can remember the last name, I couldn't say it. Say it one more time.
Robert Poprowski.
Poprowski, right.
Yeah.
It was his Velorex. It was down at Larry Claypool's shop. It was the first time we saw one of those. And I was told the name Velorex means Speed King. But now I'm hearing that there's a controversy. What does Velorex mean?
Velorex is made from 2 words. I believe they're Latin. Velo meaning bicycle and rex meaning king. So it's, I guess, the king of bicycles.
The king of bicycles. That's odd.
But it's more than that, actually.
But yeah, well, apparently it's not exactly clear. But I wanted to follow up on that it's not Speed King as I thought it was. Now, we're going to move inside because it's freezing out here. And seriously, folks, 45 degrees. The wind is howling here. And I just wanted to get you reacquainted with what we're doing. But we are going to have a conclusion. Let's give it away right now. They did make it.
Yes, they did make it.
Okay,
actually, 4 of them made it.
Okay, we're gonna do the rest of it inside because it's cold.
It really was cold out there, and when the folks in the restaurant offered space inside in front of a fireplace, Bill jumped on it.
Well, that's better. I'm telling you, it is freezing out. And this is really nice in here. What a pretty place this is. I don't know. I tried to get it in the camera shot so you can see it, but this looks like a swords and shield and like from medieval.
Yes.
Anyhow, very, very cool, very pretty. And I'm thankful that they're letting us use it inside because I'm telling you, it is cold out. Now, let's pick up on the story. When we last left, they were all enthused about trying Route 66. And by the way, you know what's interesting about this? This is, I said it before in the program, this is not unusual for people who come from Europe to do Route 66. And yet there are many Americans that don't even know that's a big deal.
It's amazing how many foreigners we ran into. I joined them for the trip for about almost 100 miles to Odell, Illinois. We ran into French people, Germans,
doing
Poles,
Route 66.
doing Route 66.
Yeah.
And actually a couple of the first stops, we ran into the same people.
And yet most Americans don't even know it's a big deal.
They see an occasional brown 66 sign in the neighborhood, but it doesn't say anything to them.
Okay, very quickly, I'm going to go over this. We always do as a matter of fact, the day that we shot that, let me explain what was going on, if I didn't do it well before. We were doing the Berwyn Route 66 car show, which we do every year, and it's kind of a celebration of Route 66 and all that. It's one of the biggest shows there is every year. They always pull at least 500 cars, and we were already committed to do that because we do that show every year. And this guy sends me an email and tells me about this Velorex thing. And I said, I got to try to get something. So when we finished with shooting 2 shows at the Berwyn Route 66 show, we ran over here and got just a little taste of what was going on here. And what would have been cool if I had had the time during the day is I would have tried to talk these guys into going over to the Route 66 show because I think they would have got a big kick and everybody there would have liked the Velorex cars. Didn't get it done anyhow. It would have been a cool idea. So we came over here then and we saw what was going on. And as it turns out, if I have this right, there were a number of Velarexes there, but not all of them were going on the trip. There were 4 of them.
Correct. We had sort of a little send-off car show for them, and it coincidentally was on the same day as the big show on Route 66. But yes, we had the 4 main Velarexes that were going on the trip, plus my Velorex and 2 other Velarexes and some other Czech vehicles and other strange cars and motorcycles. And it was a little send-off party for them. And so the 4 Velarexes the next day went off on Route 66 with a few other Velarexes in tow, for local Velarexes.
But only 4 of them actually were making the journey.
4 were making the entire journey. We were not prepared to do the whole journey, so we quit after about 100 miles and turned around and headed back.
Okay, so give us an idea. After we left that day, we were finished taping. That evening, apparently, you guys went down because you were talking to me about where Route 66 started. And this is a little bit, some of the area doesn't exist anymore with the expansion of the parks and all that stuff, but most people accept the fact the Art Institute was the start of Route 66.
Yes.
So you guys did go down there.
We went downtown, and we went down Michigan Avenue, stopped off on the side, watched some street musicians, caused quite a commotion there on Michigan Avenue.
So you had the Velorex?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we also went through Chinatown, and that was quite interesting also. It's wonderful how many smiles we saw out there.
Well, that car will generate smiles. It really will. So then after that, then the following day, is that when you left?
Yes, the following day, early in the morning, we staged up right here in front of Klaus, and we loaded up the Velarexes and headed out on the trip.
Now, did you actually, because the way Route 66 goes from here, because some of Route 66 doesn't exist anymore, it's been what I call stepped on by interstate highway systems. In fact, just to give you a recap of why Route 66 is important, it's because it was the precursor to the interstate highway system. It was the first kind of interstate highway, meaning you could go from Chicago to Los Angeles without a traffic light or a stop sign. And some of the road already existed, and they just took down the stop signs and street lights, and some of it they had to create, so there were pieces of new roads and pieces of old roads, and they put this concoction together, called it Route 66, and it was Chicago to California, 8 states, without hitting a red light or a stop sign or anything like that. You could go without stopping. And of course, that's what the interstate highway systems are today. Now, I-55 steps on a piece of the original Route 66, kind of right after it crosses Harlem Avenue.
Yes, well, what they did, they had many resources to put this trip together, many American books, and there's one crazy Czech bicyclist that actually did the Route 66.
On a bicycle?
On a bicycle. And so
how long did that take? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but we actually did see one of his flyers posted in some of the spots, in Odell, actually, coincidentally.
Is that right?
Yes. But so they wanted to stay away from the major highways, so they went along with his book also, which for the most part was like frontage roads
alongside
like that,
I-55.
To keep it safe.
Okay, so then then about the time you got down to, I'm trying to think what the exit is off I-55, is it Joliet Road that actually picks up the original Route 66?
Yes, and we continued on through Joliet.
So you picked up the 66 then at Joliet Road and I-55 and continued on down through Joliet,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, for some reason didn't stop at that new Joliet Museum, Route 66 Museum.
They had a mission. They had California in their eyes.
Okay, I understand. But you guys did stop because I had mentioned that antique garage in Odell,
Actually, we stopped in a couple places before then. The Launching Pad restaurant. There's a big statue there on Route 66, and there was also an old gas station, actually 2 old gas stations, I think one in Wilmington and then one in Odell that we stopped at.
And the reason for this, by the way, folks, is this is all part of the history of America. This is very, very important. Route 66, now, of course, it doesn't have anywhere near the attractions that it used to have. It used to be like attractions every 2 or 3 miles, and now you'll go maybe 50 or 100 miles. But a few of these attractions are the original ones from Route 66, and they're historically significant, and people from Europe particularly want to see them.
I even saw a few Burma shave signs,
Is that
actually.
right? Okay.
Yes, it's numerous signs one
I
after
remember
another.
well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't have to look in the history books for that. I remember it well. So you went to Odell with them?
Yes, Odell.
With your Velorex?
With my Velorex, with a few other Velarexes, Frank on his Harley, and we made it as far as we could, and then we figured that would be a good place for lunch, and we'd part ways, and we would nurse our Velarexes back to Chicago, and they would keep going on to California.
Okay, so they continued on, the interesting thing about this, you got to love the internet, is what they were doing is somebody had a laptop with them,
Yes,
and they were doing updates on their website.
Exactly, almost daily, and if they didn't put any summary of the day, they'd at least put some pictures on. So their website actually has a lot of pictures from their trip.
Okay, now that's not the end of the story, and we're going to pick it up in just a few minutes because, quite frankly, I am toast. We got a fireplace behind us, and I am toasting.
Hey, Bill, you're burning back here.
Yeah, I think I'm on fire. Just a few minutes ago, it was freezing, and now I'm on fire. So we're going to move our camera location. Don't go away, folks. This is really interesting. We'll be right back.
That fireplace that seemed very appealing when they came in from the outside soon overwhelmed them. While they were moving the video equipment, Bill was getting interested in the history of the restaurant that opened in 1922. It seems there was a space on the second floor where Al Capone actually had a brothel. Of course, I'm originally from Berwyn, so I know all about Klaus Restaurant. But it was new to Bill, and he was enjoying learning the history. Now, let's get back to the Velorexes on Route 66 adventure.
That's better. I'm telling you, I was absolutely getting toasted there. So we had to move to a little cooler place that wasn't near the fireplace. Anyway, you guys left it, picking up on the story now, you guys left it at Odell. You guys went back, and they soldiered on. Do you recall the next state that we come to? After Illinois?
Let's see.
And I did this, I should know.
Missouri.
So then it's on to Missouri. I assume they went by the arch and all that?
Yes, they did. And then...
Any pictures by the arch, or do you know?
I don't know. I'll have to check their internet site because they took a lot of pictures.
And here we're flying blind, by the way, because Glenn has some footage that he shot and also some pictures that he's going to provide me with, and I haven't seen them yet. So that's why I'm kind of asking you. If I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. If we have them, I'll put them up as we talk. Mm-hmm. So into Missouri.
Into Missouri, and then after Missouri, we have, what is that? Gosh, let me think here. Missouri, is it Oklahoma then? It's Oklahoma then.
Okay, and that's where you picked up on them.
That's where I was also going on a separate vacation, leaving a week later, and our paths actually crossed in Yukon, Oklahoma, which is close to Oklahoma City. So I made a phone call, and within a half an hour, we were stopped, and I pulled out my camera and started taking shots of them. And
you say you have some shots of them, some passing shots of them?
Yes, I do.
Oh, hopefully you're seeing them right now if we know what we're doing. We'll see. I haven't seen the footage yet, so we'll see.
And I have to say, they didn't quite look that frazzled yet, even though they had already spent a week on the road, which only took me a day to get to that destination.
Okay, how about mechanical problems at this point?
Well, early on they didn't have any mechanical problems, but later on they had a few minor ones.
Okay, interesting enough. And once again, you have to remember, the Velorex is a car that's really powered by a motorcycle engine. In fact, I believe it's what I call a Jawa engine. What you how would you pronounce it?
Well, the Czechs call it Java.
Java, which
but the Americans say Jawa.
We say Jawa because it's Jawa, and that looks like Jawa to us. And I used to ride Jawa motorcycles back in the mid-'50s. The Jawa CZ was a fine motocross bike.
They were well known for dirt bikes,
Very
and
well known,
they brought a lot of bikes here to the U.S., even road bikes.
Yeah, no question about it. But particularly the Jawa CZ motocrosser was a first rate, as good as anything available at the time. And so but it was a road bike engine that they used, a 2-cylinder 350, I believe.
Yes, it was.
A road bike engine, but motorcycles, except for a rare few like the Honda Goldwing, don't have reverse.
Correct.
And I noticed when they took our girls for a ride that they actually backed into position. So I was curious because I know the motorcycle engine doesn't have reverse in the transmission, so they must have a jack shaft in there or something that that's not how they do it, do they?
Well, when everything's functioning properly and they don't have to open the door and push their way backwards with one foot, it actually has a reverse. And the way they accomplish that is they actually start the engine in reverse.
That's right, and I want to remind the audience that two-cycle engines will start going backwards. As a matter of fact, in the early days of outboard motors, the way they had reverse was to start outboard motors, which were two-stroke engines, backwards. And I actually have an interesting little story I can tell you about this. I know two-stroke engines will start in reverse, and the reason I know this is because I had a 125-something two-stroke that I was riding out in the dirt and did it for couple of years, and it was kind of a medium hill. This wasn't an awesome motocross bike or anything. It was just a simple little 125 two-stroke, and I was trying a hill that I probably shouldn't have tried, and I'm making a blast up that hill, and halfway up I can't make it, and I realize it. So now I'm going backwards down the hill, and I'm trying to do the front brake and keep from falling, and use a little clutch and try to rev it a little bit and all that. Well, inadvertently, apparently, as I'm sliding down the hill backwards with my feet down, dragging the front brake, apparently I started the motor in reverse, and I'm unaware of this. And I get down to the bottom of the hill, and I want to show off to my friends and do a bonsai run and make the hill that just defeated me, and I rev it up and dump the clutch, and I shot backwards. So talk about it. Yes, believe me, I've done every dumb thing that you can do on a motorcycle.
And since then you've changed careers.
No, believe it or not, I kept going. I don't give up that easily. So yeah, two strokes. So so when you see those things backing up, it's actually they started the motor backwards.
Yes, and they actually technically have 4 speeds in reverse because they have 4 forward gears and when the engine starts backwards. And this is to avoid a complicated transmission so that they can use just a regular old motorcycle engine in it.
Right, exactly, because the car really truly is half motorcycle and half car.
Yes, it is. It's what the Czechs had in the communist era. They just cobbled together what they had. It was a regular manufactured vehicle, so it's headlights from a tractor, steering wheel from a Skoda car, taillights from a Skoda car, Java motorcycle parts. And my Velorex actually has a later model, which has a hydraulic clutch from a Skoda car.
And the funny part about this to me, because you look at the Velorex and you think it's got to be something from the 20s, these things were made into the 70s, weren't they?
Yes, they were. They nearly rivaled the Volkswagen Beetle for the length of production. They only made about 16,000 of them, so they took their own sweet time making them. But I like to say that they began production after World War II up until 1971. But I did meet the designer of it, and he told me it was actually on paper before World War II. And he had a prototype during World War II driving.
Okay, and again, try to remember what they were trying to do is they were trying to build automobiles and they had nothing to work with, nothing, no resources. That's why you have canvas bodies and motorcycle engines, and I admire the creativity because I've driven them. Very cool, a great deal of fun. Okay, you left them in Oklahoma, and they continued on themselves. Are we going to be able to name the other states? Probably not.
Well, they went on to Texas. They have some shots at the Cadillac Ranch there outside of Amarillo. And then on from there, they went to, that would be New Mexico.
Which I would have thought, when they were talking about where they were going, I would have thought that would have been the real problem is when they got into the really hot states, because I'm a two-stroke fan, but two-strokes don't like heat. They seize, and no seizures.
Well, they have an auxiliary fan that's powered off of the crankshaft, so it's always getting cooling. And actually, there are some Czech vehicles that are very famous as desert vehicles because they are air-cooled. Which would be Tatra. I don't know if you're familiar with Tatra.
All the chase vehicles that are used in the Paris-Dakar
rally.
And
absolutely. Even before then.
But those are like 16-cylinder diesel air-cooled engines.
Well, there's also a famous Zygmunt and Hanzelka. There are 2 travelers that drove to Africa in a Czech vehicle called a Tatra, the only rear-engine air-cooled V8 vehicle in the industry.
I know. We did a show about it. As a matter of fact, Larry Claypool has one.
Yes, he does.
The Tatra, yes.
Yes, he
exactly.
does.
In fact, it was one that was for, I guess, for government officials. It was a big car.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're on the way toward California. No mechanical breakdowns, or just a few? They had to weld.
I think a post beyond Texas, they had a little bit of a problem. They had a problem with the chain. They resolved that. They had a headlight that its bracket broke off. The weld broke, so they fixed that. And they met a lot of nice people doing this. You know, they pull up to a shop and say, "Help! I need help," and everybody's just there.
I'll bet help was there.
Oh yeah, they were very pleased to help when they saw these vehicles.
I have found, and this is not just Americans, but to be sure, Americans, I'm proud of how we are more than willing to lend a hand. But I've found that people around the world, once they realize that, for example, I'm a motorcyclist, and it doesn't make any difference where you go with a motorcycle, you'll find motorcyclists, and it's like a brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They're always waving.
They're always waving, and there's always like a camaraderie that if they need a hand, you get a hand.
Even though our three-wheelers don't look like a motorcycle too much, all cyclists definitely give us a wave when
Is that
we go
right?
by, always.
Oh, that's cool. Now, I want to conclude, I want to get to the conclusion of the story, but to do that, I understand that we're going to have access to the Al Capone area.
Oh, well, possibly. There's a little showcase here with a picture of Al Capone playing cards here at this Klaus restaurant. And also upstairs, there's some other...
I'm talking about upstairs. You said it was something of a, how can we say this tactfully, brothel?
Brothel. There was I believe there was a brothel here, Al Capone ran here.
So I'm going to see if I can talk. I'd like to shoot the final segment. I'd like to shoot, if not in Al Capone's one-time brothel, next to it.
I just knew Bill would figure out a way to satisfy his curiosity.
Well, folks, we are now in the secret second floor. I don't know if it's exactly secret, is it?
Well, this part isn't secret.
Okay, this isn't secret. However, on the other side of this wall, folks, just on the other side of this wall is where Al Capone had something of a brothel.
That's right.
In fact, we could probably say more than something of. He had a brothel.
Yes, he did. And there was a room next door here. They used to play cards and drink and...
I mean, this is all well documented.
Yes. And downstairs, there's a little showcase of some cards that Al Capone actually played with here, playing cards.
It's so cool. This, like I say, the history is amazing. Chicago always amazes me. When I say Chicago, of course, like all of us, we're talking about the whole Chicagoland area. We're in Cicero right now, and that's kind of the same as being in Chicago, sort of. You know what I mean? People who live here know what I mean. You could drive from downtown Chicago and go through many suburbs and not even know you ever left Chicago, because it's all kind of the same thing. But it always amazes me, the amount of history that's here and all that. The best example I have, and I won't get too far gone with this story, but when I was trying to do the showgirl costumes, the feathers, I needed the ostrich plumes. I flew all the way out to Vegas to find out where they get the ostrich plumes. Where do you think they got the ostrich plumes?
Chicago?
From a company in Chicago on Lake Street. I don't think it's there anymore, but it's where they have the used machinery, used milling machines and things like that on Lake Street. Here was a company called Progress Feather Company, and I walked in, it was all grungy, and I said, I think I'm in the wrong place. It looked like to me it was for mattress feathers or something. He said, what are you looking for? I said, well, these big ostrich plumes. He walks me into another room and starts flipping open. Here's electric green, electric blue, hot pink. It was unbelievable. I said, Chicago, once again, you know. If you can't find it here, you probably can't find it, including the Velorex.
Exactly.
Okay, let's close up to conclude the story now. How long did it take them to get to California?
They had allotted 3 weeks, and that's about what it took. I think they were a little bit ahead of schedule, and any of the minor mechanical problems they had, they were just addressed right there on the spot, and they had some time to do a few touristy things out in California when they got there.
Okay, question. I teased them a little bit about Indians here, because most Europeans, in fact, we had this girl Luda on our show from Russia for a long time, and she was thrilled. We happened to do a TV show about Bridgestone Firestone out in Arizona, and she was absolutely thrilled. She couldn't believe she was actually seeing Indians, because all they know is movies.
Exactly.
And I was teasing him a little bit about what are you going to do about the Indians, but I knew that they would run into Indians.
Yes, they did, and they really had a very good time and a very good experience. And just so much culture here in the U.S., and they soaked it all in on Route 66.
Well, hopefully, did they have a good experience?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
yes.
Hopefully they had a good time and that they were treated well, and everybody, once they found out what was going on, was friendly to them, because I know Americans, they would throw their arms open to something like that, I would think.
Oh, definitely. And they had a lot of friends along the way. I gave a heads up to some of my Czech friends in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they welcomed them in. And Vera, the English speaker on the tour,
the woman that spoke English, like a translator.
Yes. She went to school in high school here as an exchange student, so she visited her old family again. So they were just surrounded by friends here, and they had a very good time.
Well, now, Americans, are you ashamed of yourself? This is all right in front of you. You don't have to come thousands and thousands of miles and ship your cars over oceans and everything. Every American here can do Route 66, and it's easy for them.
Exactly.
What an adventure.
I want to do it myself sometime. And what's very interesting, when I was at the airport picking up some of the team members, I was running into British people with signs up, Harley guys that were flying from England to do Route 66. And I told them, hey, I did part of it down to Odell. You guys are lucky. You're going to have a great time.
You're exactly right. And I will tell you one other thing here. Yes, I haven't done it yet, but I've done pieces of Route 66, as our regular viewers know, because we've done it with the motorcycle road trip. So I've done pieces of Route 66, and I intend to do the entire thing. But the thing I want the public to understand is that don't limit yourself to Route 66. Mm-hmm. The secondary highway system in America is wonderful. And we did the Route 20 out to New York. Oh, what a gorgeous road that is. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan of going off the beaten path. That's my favorite way to go.
It really is. And and you're seeing, because what I was hoping they were going to see was the real America, if you know what I mean. Not the interstate America, the real America.
Yes, the real, genuine, just apple pie kind of America.
And it turned out that way.
Yes, it did.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for helping me conclude this thing. And folks, like I say, if we had been NBC or ABC or CBS or one of those big stations that have resources, we would have followed them all the way out. It would have been a wonderful trip, but you're going to have to kind of do it through our stories and all that. And I think you'll have to agree, this isn't bad either.
Glenn generously offered some of his footage for our use. Let's take a peek.
You'd never guess who I came across in Yukon, Oklahoma. I came across the Velorex team.
Hi, this is Vera and my friends, my husband, my friends, and we are here in Yukon in Oklahoma. We left Chicago on Sunday. It's Sunday again, so we just had 1 week to go on Route 66 from Chicago to Oklahoma, Yukon. We passed several nice people, bunch of nice people interested in what cars this is.
Trip that must have been. I would love to do it, but not today because we're out of time with only enough left to acknowledge the fine work of our award-winning production team, including Tom McGrady, Matt and Zach Kibbins, Art Lauschat, our webmaster Frank Barberlace, and Sue Cassando. Special thanks to JPTV's Jerry Bryant. Music is created for us by independent artist Roger Pauley and Jerry Herbert. Of course, we have to take a moment to thank the stars of this edition of Motorsports Unlimited. Janine Lauschat, Samantha Bentley, and our host, Bill Wildt. Me, I'm May Chin, taking a moment to thank Glenn Buchek for all his efforts to make the show possible. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This program made possible in part by support from Jimmy's Red Hots, located on Grant Avenue and Pulaski Road in Chicago.
This program made possible in part by support from ABC Auto Parts, located on Ashland Avenue at 138th Street in Blue Island, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from Bridgestone Firestone and your local Bridgestone Firestone tire retailers.
Motorsports Unlimited is produced by Bill Wildt, President of the Motorsport Advancement Crusade.
This program made possible in part by support from Copy That, located in the County Farm Plaza at County Farm Road and Army Trail Road in Carroll Stream, Illinois. This program made possible in part by support from PB Food Products, located on 47th Street at Western Avenue in Chicago, Illinois.
This program made possible in part by support from J.C. Whitney & Company, located just off I-80 at the Utica exit in LaSalle, Illinois.
Motorsports Unlimited was created to raise public consciousness, understanding, and appreciation of the motorsport community and their activities. You can contact us by email at msutv.com, or you can write to Motorsport, P.O. Box 66242, Chicago, Illinois, 60666. We enjoy hearing from our audience. Please let us know what you think.
Next week we talk about Lamborghinis.
And Lotuses, or is that low tide?
And Faye knows too.
All next week on Motorsports Unlimited.
So that's it, another edition of Motorsports Unlimited and the lovely ladies of motorsports. And be with us next week because we'll have something real exciting. Bill Wildt's going to have the lovely ladies, and just about anything can happen right here on Motorsports Unlimited. Every week at this time, we bring you the best in motorsports. So be seeing ya. Bye-bye. And keep on rocking.